Can someone with physics degree build a career in tech? This is one of the major queries that resides in the minds of the student pursuing graduation in the core science domain. Well, in this podcast, we have someone who has done the same. Joining us today is Aritra Mukhopadhyay, a physics graduate from NISER with minor in computer science. What I found most fascinating about his journey is that none of it had started with a master plan. It all started with curiosity. From starting to learn Python from ebooks and experimenting on his own, and eventually turning that passion for coding into something much bigger and more serious. Over the years, he has worked on a project in machine learning, which has even received support from Microsoft. Collaborating with international researchers and scholars on various projects, he even maintained dozens of projects on GitHub as well. This conversation with him mainly revolves around certain points, which includes his journey from physics to computer science, the turning point which shaped his career, and the skill that truly counts in today's fast-changing world, and the student and the mistakes they often make, and what students from core science background should focus on to become industry ready in the age of AI. Before we begin, I would like to thank CareeoCity for making this podcast a reality. CareeoCity is one-on-one mentorship platform that aims to put the student in a position where they can make more informed career-related decisions by connecting themselves to verified mentors who have been exactly where they are. You can visit the website from the description below for more details. With that being said, let's get started.
So thank you, Aritra, for being with us today. So we will be starting with very basics. So I would like to know that how do you get into NISER and what was the reason behind you choosing physics as a major?
So choosing physics was I had also already I was fond of physics from since class 6, and when I was in class 12, 11, 12, I loved physics and mathematics even more. The 11, 12 physics was like I was so fond of that. I liked the Isibama books, these things. They were so good, and so the decision of choosing physics was already taken initially, but then about NISER, one fine morning, my father told me that there was an advertisement for this next exam. I sat for the next exam and I cracked it, and I was at NISER. About choosing physics in NISER, so there is this NISER has a 5-year integrated MSc course, which I took. So in the first year, we have to study all physics, chemistry, math, biology, computer science, humanities, all of these subjects we have to study. And from the second year onwards, we have to choose our major subject. So even after that, I chose physics as my major because it was predefined initially. Like, I had always wanted to take physics only. That's why I just chose physics, because I liked it initially.
Okay. So you were like you said that पहले से ही fixed था कि मुझे भाई physics में ही
Yes.
जाना है, right? And because of the interest that you developed during class 11 and 12.
Yes.
So, अच्छा, when you gave the next exam, right? So were you pretty sure कि मेरा एग्जाम काफी अच्छा गया है, हो ही जाएगा नाइसर में, और were you like 50-50 और बहुत ही कम
No,
चांस
no.
लगा था कि यार
The
नहीं
next
होगा?
exam, it went excellent. I was very happy with the exam, and just as I came out of the hall, I told my mother that I will most probably get it. If I don't get this, I will, like, the other ones I'm definitely not gonna get. This next
Okay.
exam I was very completely sure about.
या तो मतलब कि तुमने बस नाइसर में ही अप्लाई किया था कि या पैरेलली किसी और भी कॉलेजेस में अप्लाई किया हुआ था?
I actually wanted to go to ISER actually, because my plan was to study general science, not go to engineering. So ISER is the basic first option. I actually did not know about NISER. I came to know only after I cracked it. Then, like, the next exam, yes, like in detail about NISER, I didn't know. I wanted to go to ISER, but the ISER exam did not go that well for some reason. All the mock tests I got like good marks, but on the exam day somehow I don't know what happened. I did not get very good marks that I would get into a good ISER. But this NISER exam went extremely well, and I don't know how. Like the best thing which I think about the next exam is, at least like the in our times, I think a lot of things have changed by now, but at least in our times, there were less number of questions and a lot of time. And these questions were like, I will give you all the information, just solve it, try and solve it. So those questions were like that. And but either question is sort of like JEE mains, slightly tougher than maybe JEE mains level questions. JEE advanced, not as tough as JEE advanced maybe. That level. So, but the next exam questions were very deep questions, like
conceptual questions.
Conceptual questions. They gave you time, and you will need the time. And if you can understand the question well, you would be able to easily be able to solve. For example, no calculation complexities would be there. It will be solved very smoothly if you understand.
Okay.
That is
so I remember, being as a NISER alumnus myself. So I remember the NISER when conducted the exams. After I qualified for GEST, so they called me for a PhD program. So I remember, the question paper that they have their own screening test, and even though you have qualified some national exam, they conduct their own exam, and then for the interview thing, and then finally you get enrolled. So continuously,
we don't have any interview. Like MSc.
So even whatever you are saying, that is actually true. The claims are coming, the question paper that I face. So it's true. So अच्छा, पहला साल नाइसर में था कैसा? I mean, you must be having some sort of perception about the NISER उसे ज्वाइन करने से पहले, अरे चलो नाइसर में जाते हैं. And then once you started facing the reality, once you are the part of the campus, and you face the central library, you face the infrastructure and the classrooms and the professors and the labs and what was your I would say response? कैसा लगा था कि यार ये तो कुछ और ही है, मतलब कि were you completely surprised by the infrastructure, और जितना expectation था उतना नहीं था या उससे ज्यादा ही था? कैसा था नाइजर में पहला साल और जो भी तुमने देखा?
Okay, so to be honest, I did not I am not one of those guys who watch hours of videos about ISER and NISER. So those things I don't watch those. So I didn't have any sort of expectations, but I had heard about a lot of things. Like, for example, another Bhaiya was there in our neighborhood, and he was in ISER, probably Pune or something, and he told me that how things are like there is a canteen and you have to eat from there, and there are playgrounds and you can play there. Things like those I had heard, and they are so fascinating to me, and I always wanted to have that, because till class 12th I was at my home, and I did not know the outside world. So as I went to NISER, I was 18 and I was just out of school. So that was a separate experience for me. The whole package of NISER, what I am today, this person is shaped by NISER.
And are you proud of this person?
Yes, I am proud of this person. I have changed a lot. Everything has changed. This is a very important part of my life now. From 18 to plus 5 years, so till 23. This is a very important part of my life, and I enjoyed my time.
So maybe maybe we can dive deeper into this domain in some other podcast, because ultimately. So the next thing that I would like to know from your end is, you mentioned something about the CS as a minor along with physics as a major. So that seems to me interesting, है ना? I mean, is it usual first of all? मतलब ऐसा होता है, या फिर तुमने just slightly went out of the track and तुमने बस CS minor ले लिया कि चलो देखते हैं? And actually, please tell me something about, is it usual, और ये पहले से ही प्लान था कि नहीं मुझे सॉफ्टवेयर में मजा आता है तो मुझे CS लेना है?
Okay, so first of all, I am from a PCMB background. So I had studied biology in class 12, and I did not know any programming, anything till class 12. But I was very excited about computers. That was there always. So
कब से?
Always. Actually, I didn't want to take biology, and I was sort of forced into that, but it was not a bad decision at the end. But I learned biology, and it was good in my life. I think it was a good decision. But initially, I did not want to take biology. I wanted to take CS only. But anyway,
Mhm.
so that aspiration was always there. So when so after class 12, so the plan was to study physics. So I had also started getting enrolled into some physics MSc programs into some local colleges. And for that, the colleges classes had not started, but I had started taking coaching in some like there was a person nearby, and he gave me a lot of ebooks, Google Drive full of ebooks, and
Mhm.
there I found a Python book. So I was sort of free that time, and I just read that Python book on my PC. I just read it, and that was the first time me learning programming on my own in the time between the next exam and getting the email from NISER that you got selected. So in that time, I sort of got comfortable with Python, and it literally blew my mind. Like, you can tell a computer to do something and it will just do it for you. Like, how powerful is that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
making the computer to obey your command,
yes,
step
and
by
it will
step, bit
just
by bit.
do it.
है ना?
And you can tell it to do anything. If you can give it proper instructions, and it will
Yeah.
do anything for you, and fast, like so fast.
Okay.
So that was very interesting for me.
So that was basically a moment that has arguably one of the biggest impact on your life, because that set of ebooks ultimately it promotes, or it kind of brings the interest toward the software and
Yes.
and all, है ना, codings and all.
Yes.
So what if, क्या तुमने ये सोचा है कि अगर से वो मुझे वो ई बुक्स हमको देते ही ना, तो क्या होता? मतलब अगर से वो ई बुक्स ना देते तो तुमने पाइथन ना पढ़ा होता, मतलब वो एक्सपोज ना हुए होते उससे,
हाँ.
देन डू यू थिंक दैट हैड इट नॉट बी द केस कि उस टीचर ने तुम्हें ई बुक्स दिया होता, है ना, और तो यू माइट बी इन सम अदर प्लेस वेयर यू आर टुडे? Can you say that?
No, maybe I think I had always wanted to learn computers, and programming, I think, is the next step. Learning to do like how to operate a Word, Excel, PowerPoint is something, but learning to do programming is the next step, I think. So that I would have anyway learned because I came to NISER. So as a part of the curriculum, I would have anyway been learning programming in some way. Maybe the starting would have been different. Maybe I would have started slower, but at the end, I would have learned.
मतलब फिजिक्स के साथ एक ऑब्सेशन कोडिंग्स और सॉफ्टवेयर के साथ भी था, है ना, शुरू से.
So I think I would have anyway done this. And to answer your question, that if CS minor was a normal, like if people do this or not. So people actually do this a lot. CS minor besides physics is a common thing. But about that, there is no thing called minor initially. You just take courses. Elective courses are there. You have a particular quota of taking elective courses every year. So, and by the end of 5 years, if you have completed a certain number of credits of that from a particular department, say for example, I am taking, so there's suppose each elective course comes with say 8 credits. So, and suppose I have to complete 40 credits to get a minor. So if somehow I complete 5 courses, so 40 divided by 8 is 5. So somehow I complete 8 elective courses out of the CS department, I will get a minor in CS. Similarly, if I complete 8 courses, 5 courses from, like the criteria are different for different departments, but I think you get me. So if I complete those many amount of credits from a different department, I will get a minor of that department.
Okay.
And theoretically, if it is possible that you can get a minor in multiple departments also, if you complete those many courses, but then you have to take overload.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. So, I mean, if I understood it correctly, तो मतलब कोडिंग्स वगैरह में तुम्हारा शुरू से ही हॉबी था, मतलब मजा आता था कि यार ये बढ़िया लग रहा है, ठीक है. So, was there any specific moment, कभी तुमको some sort of moment that had made you feel ki okay, this is not a hobby anymore, this is something serious, I'm getting into it, CS, computer science, a transition from hobby to say profession कि नहीं यार, this is not just a hobby anymore. So कभी कभी ऐसा मतलब कभी ना कभी तो लगा ही होगा. So can
No,
you
actually,
be
the
very
thing is
specific?
कि
Was there any specific moment, कोई एक ऐसा project या कोई ऐसा internship है ना, कभी
okay.
कोई.
So
हाँ,
I
please.
would like. So there are two aspects of it. It is still a hobby for me. I do programming just because I like to do programming. I
Okay.
enjoy doing. There is a part of that part in me who loves doing programming, and I want to do that for always. But the problem is there is another part of me who does programming for getting paid or like for CV or something like that. So that part is different and this part is different. The skill sets are shared, but I will always when I come back at home, I will write some code for just for chilling, and that will be different. And this for work, writing code for work will always be different. Actually, that is a very good reason. That was the only reason why I decided to not pursue PhD and instead do a job. That is a very important. That is the reason why I made this decision.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting, the thing that you have said just now. Even it's something that I have realized quite lately. Ki, how do you actually know that whatever you are doing is purely out of the professional thing, or it is something that you are connected deep into? So one thing that I am able to pinpoint is ki, if you truly like something, if whether it is coding or solving numericals and tough problems and all, so if you are genuinely liking it, so you will be working on it without looking at clock, without looking at time, without looking at day, without looking what it is giving you in return, the monetary benefits or whatever it how much is it paying to you. Those things become secondary. मतलब you do it because you are liking it. चाहे रात का 2 बजा हो या 3 बजा हो, चाहे वो तुमको महीने के आखिर में 500 रुपए दे या 0 रुपए दे, you don't care because अंदर से मजा आ रहा है.
Yes.
And this is exactly the thing कि you were genuinely liking it from inside. That was the okay. So let's move forward. So apart from that, apart from physics, so given that you are already enrolled in some reputed MNCs already, so some student, who are the part of some institute graduating from science. So what additional skill do you build, Hannah, during your time, Hannah, that ultimately helped you to land into that MNC? I mean, was it this set of codings and है ना, मतलब when there have been some point of transition कि फिजिक्स थोड़ा सा साइड हो गया, अब कोडिंग मतलब डोमिनेट करने लगा तुम्हारे शेड्यूल में. मतलब you are in most of the time doing codings and है ना, maybe building some programs and all. So है ना, तो
the thing is that has always been the case from since first year onwards. Because I joined this coding club and these club things are there in NISER. Coding club, robotic club are there. So I spent a lot of time in these clubs actually, and I studied only because I had to pass, and the rest of the time went into these clubs. So I was anyway doing that for fun and doing that like sort of full time. And this physics had always been in the backside. But in my 5th year, when I went to do the like my MSc thesis, I went to Professor Anamitra, and he gave me a problem which intrigued me so much that in 5th year I actually started loving physics also besides computer science. And yes, and then I really liked working with him, and that project I liked very much, and I wish I had met him earlier
I mean, had it been the case that you met the professor, maybe in the 2nd year or maybe in the 3rd year, then your story might have been different. You may be at some other place right now. You're saying this?
Maybe, yes. Actually, this might have been the case. Maybe I would have been doing a PhD in physics right now. Maybe.
Okay.
Who knows? Because I got initially, I got to work with Professor Shubhankar Mishra, and after working with him, I learned a lot of programming also. Like I developed this side of me, the programming side of me, the algorithms, learning algorithms, doing machine learning, this side of me, which was a way to go. But maybe if I would have talked to Professor Anamitra in second year or earlier, basically, then my path would have been slightly different. Maybe I would have been the guy, computational physics guy in like doing physics PhD. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, because I mean, was that topic something that brings physics and computation all together?
Yes.
That is, I mean, that is the reason why you were kind of liking it, because
Yes.
जो दो चीजें तुम्हें पसंद थी वो that is basically the fusion of all both the things. Physics भी है, computation भी है, right? So yeah, this is interesting. So
I went to him and I literally told him that I don't know too much physics and I know computation very much. And he said, "Oh, you are the perfect guy for this."
So now do you regret that? I mean, leaving the physics.
No, I don't regret it.
That means that you have made the right decision, because had it been the case that you were already regretting, then maybe
I don't regret anything. Like that would have been another way to do it. This is another way to do it.
Yeah. So okay, so that sounds good. And you mentioned something about certain clubs in the NISER, like the coding clubs and robotics and all. So can you shed some light on those clubs as well? I mean, what they were meant for, and what was their working like curriculum? They must be having a certain set of curriculums, है ना? So please tell us something about the clubs that NISER had.
So the main goal of these clubs are getting connected to like-minded people. So for anything, you need to get connected to like-minded people. For example, there are nature clubs, there are debate clubs, there are chess clubs. This robotic club, coding clubs are there. So the idea is getting connected to like-minded people. If you get connected to like-minded people, then you get to learn more. You get to learn what others are thinking, etc. So the whole idea of all of this is connections, getting like knowing people and getting directions from getting inspired from elders, inspiring the youngers. These things are there. So when I was in like coding club and software development group of NISER, and the robotic club of NISER, here I got to know a lot of seniors who. But at that time, I got to learn about this exam called NQT, TCS NQT. TCS NQT, National Qualifier Test.
Okay. So Aritra, now we will be let's talk about the job hunt thing that you have experienced while you were the part of NISER, because this is something really rare that you have already mentioned that most of the NISER students, I mean, the environment that the NISER had in itself is majority of the people are oriented toward the research, right? Once they are done with the BSMS course and they applied for PhD abroad, and once they, I mean, if it is the case of PhD, then most of the time what they do is कि मतलब postdoc के लिए चले जाते हैं कई बार, है ना? So did happen almost 90% of the cases, I think, if I'm not wrong. But there are some cases like that of yours, where we see a transition from science background to industry. I mean, this transition is quite something. I mean, while talking to the students as well, I am able to connect it, because most of the student को ये लगता है कि यार साइंस में ग्रेजुएशन करके मतलब इंडस्ट्री में स्विच कैसे करें, तो ये कहीं ना कहीं उनके लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है ना? उनके लिए भी, उनके अंदर भी एक क्यूरियोसिटी होती है कि कैसे करना है, क्या करना है. ठीक है, सो वी विल गेट इनटू इट वन बाय वन, बट जस्ट टू मेक इट सिंपल, सो प्लीज guide us through the timeline that you have adopted to land into the job in one of the most reputed MNCs. No. So please, please.
So as you said rightly, that NISER does not inherently provide too much support towards industry jobs. It doesn't have a placement cell. Like placements, it has a placement cell, but it is not that active. Mostly because the students don't show too much enthusiasm towards jobs. At least there. A lot of people want to go to jobs, but I don't know why. A lot of people, the most of the people, they don't show enthusiasm towards going to jobs. That is there. So NISER mostly supports its students towards PhD. Because a lot of people
the
want to do
research culture is quite
research
rich there.
culture.
And
Yes.
if you are basically oriented for the long-term research, then NISER is one of the most elite institute in the country, I would
Yes.
say.
Yes.
I mean, for the informed for the informed people out there, NISER Institute, the reason that why most of the people aren't aware of it is because it's relatively newer if you compare it with rest of the established ISERs and IITs and ISC. But I mean, I think for the informed people, NISER is an institute that sits in the same mental bracket as that of ISC and
Yes.
and top ISERs.
ISER.
It's
Yes.
it's not less than those.
NISER, yes, NISER actually have started marketing recently. NISER did not do too much marketing before, but these days, very recently, I think NISER is getting more popular. Like ISERs are popular, very popular, but for some reason, NISER did not get that marketing somehow or something. But these days, it is getting. Yes. Sort of.
Okay, so please now tell me about
So
the
about
timeline
that-
that you have adopted.
Yes, about the job hunt. So when I was in fourth year, NISER actually, so it tries to get companies into the campus for hiring purposes, but these students, they don't apply. So that is why the companies say too less people applied, so we won't come. That happens a lot. In NISER. Actually, that is what happens, and that is why a lot of, so when I was in second year, probably Google and Microsoft or something like that, someone agreed to visit our campus, but there were too less people who applied, and they didn't at the end show up. So problems like this exist. So after like almost 2 years, finally, when I was in fourth year, TCS came to our campus, and they gave us actually a talk on there's this exam called TCS NQT National Qualifier Test or something like that. So this exam they conduct, and so they came to our campus and said we are conducting this exam. You like basically telling us about this exam and what type of job is TCS, etc., etc.
Okay.
So I was in fourth year. I was not eligible to apply yet, but I went to their talk and I listened to it. The fifth year students, some of them applied, and some of them didn't. Actually, most of them didn't apply, so TCS also didn't come that year also. But anyway, but that stuck in my mind. And when I was in fifth year, I was eligible for this TCS NQT exam. I filled the form and I went for the exam when I was in fifth year.
Okay.
Coincidentally, the day I filled the form, NISER also sent us an email that NISER placement cell that we should fill the form.
Okay.
Anyway, so that exam, so there were two parts of the exam. The exam was there, and after the exam, there was this interview. And this interview, so there were two coding questions, and this is informal. This is not very formal, but in general, so there are three levels to this. One is the ninja level, like based on the salary. Okay, there are three levels to this: ninja, digital, and prime. These three are there based on salary. So if you can't solve any, so there are two parts to this written test, like on computer-based test. One part is the aptitude, like questions are there, MCQ questions, and then at the end there are two coding questions. So you have to solve the two coding questions, aptitude and two coding questions. So if someone solves just the aptitude part, then they get ninja. If they can't solve any coding question, in general, this is not any hard fast rule, but in general they get ninja.
Okay.
If they can solve one of the questions, in general they get digital, and if they can solve both the questions, in general they get prime. But things go up and down here also. Like
it
not
depends,
a hard fast rule.
depends on various other set of parameters. Like
Yes, for example, the interview also it depends.
Yeah. Okay.
So after that, so because NISER is affiliated to HBNI, Homi Bhabha National Institute, which is in Mumbai. For some reason, I don't know why, they thought that my college is also in Mumbai. And what happened is after cracking this computer-based test CBT, they called me for an interview in Mumbai. That was the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And but anyway, so I went to Mumbai and I gave the interview, and then I came back. And after, so this happened. So the computer-based test exam happened in 2025 March, and the interview happened in May probably. And after that, in September, I got a rejection email from TCS that you unfortunately we are afraid we couldn't take you, something like that.
Okay.
But it is fine. So I was anyway looking for other jobs also. I applied through LinkedIn, etc., and a lot of things I was trying. I was doing my own like coding. I anyway keep on doing, building projects. Those things I keep on anyway doing. Mainly, I was planning for an MTech. For that, I have to give the GATE exam. So GATE CS I was preparing for, and I wanted to do an MTech from a good college so that I can get a placement easily.
Okay.
That was the plan initially. Now, GATE exam was on 15th February 2026 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And on 10th February, I got a call in the afternoon and they told me, hey Aritra, what are you doing? I said, they asked me, have you joined any institute or are you doing any job right now? I said no. So they said, are you up for another interview? I said, sure, but I can go to NISER now, Mumbai now. So they said, oh, sure, then come to Kolkata on 13th for another interview. So it was Friday the 13th that day. I went to the interview and it was just a 5-minute interview. After that, they told me, okay, go home. And I came home. And after that, probably about 1 month after, they sent me the offer letter for this.
I mean, somewhere down around March.
Yes, March. Yes, the mid-March, about March.
Mid of March. All right. All right. So, Aritra, talking about that NQT test that you have mentioned. I mean, what if? These, the MNCs and all don't generally visit all the colleges, and they're extremely selective. So, I mean, is it possible for some students who are into tier 2 or tier 3 cities and being the part of some state college or government college or whatever it is? So, is there any online portal as well of this test through which they can apply for the off-campus placement?
This NQT is for everyone. There are some criteria like you can be BTech. You can be physics, you can be probably math is also allowed. So there are some criteria like this, but in general, physics people are allowed in a lot of all of these exams. Physics grades are accepted almost everywhere. So this NQT exam for everyone. Anyone can give this exam. Does not depend on the college. For example, I did not go through NISER. I went by my own, as I said. But that day only, NISER also sent me the email. But I went to this on my own, and it solely depends upon these two, like how you perform in this exam. What you will get. For example, I solved both the questions and I got prime. And anyway, so you can just solve it. Right? It is for everyone. Yes, and another thing is there. If you have a master's degree, then the salary is a bit better. And if you have a bachelor's degree, just a bachelor's degree, then the salary is slightly less.
Okay. So yeah. So that sounds good. So Aritra, while you are the part of NISER, what do you think that willingly or unwillingly worked extremely well for you? Was it something that you were fortunate enough to join those coding clubs and being surrounded by like-minded people and developing kind of skills? So was it that that gave you the I would say leverage over the others because the set of skills that you have developed down the line, or was it something else?
Yes, that played a very important role in this whole abode.
The coding club,
the coding club, the robotic club, these are the places where I met a lot of people. I got to learn from them. For example, for coding club, I got to see what my elders did, my seniors they did, and I got to read their code. I learned how things are done, what are the good things you should do, do's and don'ts, things like these, how things are done. These you can explore things on your own, but also if you get to know people and like the community way of doing things, these things I learned a lot from coding club and robotic club. These two places were very important for me.
Okay.
Another thing which was very important to me was this also I got from this Bhaiya in coding club. He told me this habit of keeping all my code in GitHub. That is a very important thing, I think.
I mean, maintaining the respiratories and all.
Yes, maintaining repositories, whatever. Even the smallest bit of code which I have written ever, I have pushed it to GitHub because that is a very good habit I have built. All my code are there on GitHub. I never lost any code that I have written. And if I think that, suppose I started a project today and like after some time I might feel that this I should not keep this project, I can delete it. But initially when I am starting it, I will always put it to GitHub. Maybe I will delete it maybe after 1 year if I think that I'm not going to continue this or I don't need this anymore, something like that. But initially I would always put it on GitHub, and this I think I have picked up.
I mean, was
from
it purely
Coding Club.
out? This approach that you were talking about, collecting all your codes that you have written, was it purely out of interest या फिर तुमको लगा था कि ये चीज कहीं ना कहीं मेरे सीवी को वेटेज बढ़ाएगा मेरे सीवी का, या फिर both the factors was there?
Okay, so when I was in my first year, my seniors told me that you should learn Git, you should learn GitHub, and don't ask questions. This will be helpful for you in your life. This is what they told me, and I listened to them, and it was helpful in my life in the long run. And what was actually helpful was that I never lost any code. People say that recruiters, they look at GitHub and they hire you. I don't know if they really do it, but it hasn't happened for me. But nevertheless, I myself can look back into the code and see where I have been 3 years before, where I have been 5 years before.
Yeah.
And I can always see.
You can have your own personal scale to gauge yourself. You can compare yourself to the previous version of yours, right? So yeah, that is something just to see that how far you have come down the line.
Yes, and you don't need to write a CV actually. Like for example, if the your GitHub history is there, and then you can tell an LLM to summarize the points, important points, CV worthy points to this, and even an LLM can do it. Like that. Like, it is a history basically, and you can always refer to it when you need.
Okay. So Aritra, now tell me this. I mean, okay, before that, do you accept the fact that not all the college students are fortunate enough to have those club and all?
Yes.
So what?
It's neither I have.
So you were much fortunate to be a part of such institute, which offers you such a broad infrastructure and the clubs and all. So what do you say to someone who is not that fortunate, and they lack this club infrastructure? So what options do they have to develop some parallel skills, along with the course that they are following? So is there any platforms or the online platforms or what do you suggest them to do?
So the first thing one should always find is a community. Like you can't, like these things are built from community only. So you have to always first find a community, either
physical or virtual, whatever it is.
Yes, either in your own college, if you have a coding club or something like that, that you can join it. If you don't have, you can try to create one, like start making one. Why not? Because treat that as a project of yourself. Talk to people. This is very important because meeting like-minded people is very important in my opinion, because you will never be enough. You should always talk to other people, and then only you will be able to see, like having different perspectives into your thoughts is very important. So always, so you can join Reddit communities. These places are there.
So, what while talking to a certain, not a certain, but the students, down the line, they have this kind of insecurity, आप कह सकते हो कि यार कोर साइंस से ग्रेजुएशन कर लिया तो कैसे जॉब लगेगी, क्या जॉब लगेगी, है ना? आई मीन दे फाइंड इट रियली हार्ड टू लैंड इनटू सम अप्रोप्रिएट जॉब्स, है ना? आई मीन तुम्हारे साथ भी कुछ ऐसा था व्हेन यू वर परसुइंग ग्रेजुएशन फ्रॉम कोर साइंस डोमेन? क्या तुम्हारे अंदर भी ये सोच थी, या फिर तुम लगे हुए थे अपना मतलब स्किल्स डेवलप करना, फिर योर फोकस वाज कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट एंड यू वर क्वाइट डिटरमिन्ड कि नहीं, अगर से मैं स्किल्स डेवलप कर दूंगा तो मुझे जॉब तो मिल ही जाएगा जैसे भी करके?
Yes, I was quite sort of
how far it
confident
is
about
true?
me. Yes, I will tell you. So I always thought that if I if I am I was confident about my technical skills actually. That I have always been confident about, because so what happened is, while working with Professor Shubhankar Mishra, I published a paper initially in my third year, and then after that we went to Microsoft and we said that, look, we have such a good results. Do you want to fund us? And we got a funding from Microsoft. Microsoft Academic Partnership Grant was there. So from our lab we got a funding, and I worked on that. And from there I got to work with a lot of cool people. I got to work with so they are from Microsoft also. So from there I got to know about these things, and then
Got to know about what?
about the industry, how it worked,
Okay.
these things, and I was quite confident. And about the TCS NQT exam is what people think that they don't know too much coding. How would they solve it? And if they don't know too much coding, they will get Ninja. These things which pays does not, it is not very high. The thing is, if you are a physics student, you already know enough programming. Like just for the sake of physics, we have done a lot of programming already. And if you the coding questions which come, I don't think are too complicated. They are simple. There are certain small technical things you have to know how to take an input output in case of competitive programming. These things, if you know are simple, you can learn in 15 minutes those things, because you already know Python. So these are not that complicated to crack actually, in my opinion. So they should not be too much worried about cracking these things. And a lot of people which I have seen is they try to crack government jobs. So that is there. A couple of friends of mine are already trying for that. They're also from physics NISER.
Okay. And yeah. So this is basically, so being from physics background, you might not be in the position to say the similar things about someone who has the major in biology or chemistry or some other fields, right?
Yes,
Hai
they
so
might not know that much programming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay, Aritra, now, consider the student somewhere in the second year of their graduation from core science domain, and they want to explore the AI and machine learning part. So what should be their approach? Maybe the roadmap in the coming 12 months. एक सेकेंड ईयर का बच्चा चाहता है, हाँ, एक सेकेंड ईयर का बच्चा चाह रहा है कि उसको AI या ML में अपना लाइफ बनाना है, ठीक है? एंड okay, let's be very specific. Let's add one more parameter here. He has not yet decided कि ultimately he will go in the industry or the research.
Yes.
है ना? उसने ये डिसाइड नहीं किया, बस उसको AI बहुत कूल लग रहा है, बिकॉज ऑल ही इज लिस्निंग इज AI एंड मशीन लर्निंग एंड ऑल. सो उसको अब बस इसी को एक्सप्लोर करना है कि ये क्या होता है.
So first of all, if he is in second year, so not he has they have quite a bit of time left, like a couple of years left. So I personally would always suggest them to go into the research part, because if they hone that part of the machine learning and AI, it won't be very complicated for them to hone the industry part of it. like the data science, data engineering, this part can be actually completed in like 1 or 2 months if they want. But the mathematics part, if they like the research part, etc., I would definitely suggest them to first start with the research aspect of it, machine learning, if they hone that part, because they have time, so they can. Now, if they are in like 4th year or 5th year, I would have suggested that look at the LinkedIn job descriptions and do only those. But
Okay.
because they have time, so they can explore and
Yeah.
they can start with research.
Okay. So that's interesting actually. So talking about the present scenario, what it is going already in the job market. So if the first year student already who has just enrolled in some institute है ना, and they मतलब 3 साल या 5 साल के बाद वो ग्रेजुएशन या इंटीग्रेटेड BSMS उसका हो जाएगा. So given the scenario that we have, so what are the top 3 skills which is non-negotiable for him? They have to do it if they want to prepare themselves industry ready, if they want to be industry ready once they are graduated.
So if there are like you are saying top 3 skills, so first of all, they should try to focus very much on the like the technical aspect of this, and for that they can
Technical aspects of what?
Whatever. So if
Okay.
they're into Java, they should
not
learn
only
Java.
lying only on the surface level is not going to work.
Yes, of
Are you-
course.
do
So
you
like
mean
because
this?
they have time, na, so they can because you were saying they're in 1st year, so they have time. So they should always try to go as deep as possible in the beginning, initially. They can because they can afford to. And
Yeah.
final year student can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
They should learn how to speak about like do less work and speak more. They should hone that skill. But a first year student, they can actually afford to do all of those things, and they can actually learn those things in much more depth. That is why they should always learn that. And the second thing which is very important is they should also learn how to talk about their work, like present their work.
Okay.
This is very important.
The presentation
also.
skill.
Presentation skills is very important. To like they should start this from the beginning only. And this is people think a lot that presentation I will be able to do very easily. But presentation skills is not a very easy thing to do. You should that is a completely different skill set.
Yeah.
Presenting and talking on the stage, or yes, those things like presenting your work is like in a very easy way, so that anyone who does not know anything about your work, they should be able to understand it easily. So it is not very easy.
Okay.
Presentation skills should be improved. You should practice talking. These things are very important apart from the technical aspect.
Okay. All right. So the technical part of it and the presentation skill and
Another thing, the third thing, you said 3 things, so I can add that they should always try to this networking is very important. So they should act, yes. So for example, in case of machine learning only, I can tell you. So when I was in 1st year, I started doing machine learning, and I participated in a hackathon. That was my not me, me and my friends. We participated in a hackathon, and we did not know anything about machine learning actually. So like 1 or 2 months, we had decided that we will do machine learning. And in 1st year, a mail came that a hackathon is going to be organized by ML for SCI. Do you know about ML for SCI? Machine Learning for Science. There's an organization. Okay. Yes. It was initially hosted by Brown University, and a lot of other universities were involved also.
Okay.
American and European universities. And so we participated in that hackathon, and I don't know how we won. The first, the particular project we chose, there were 8 options to choose from. The particular project we chose, we did it the best somehow. Our accuracy came the top. And then from there we learned that things are not that complicated as you think initially. So we got a very moral boost from there. But and then from there we got to know a lot of people. Even if we have not been the come first, we would anyway have met a lot of people and got to know a lot of people. So networking aspect always is there. Even if you don't win, it doesn't matter. You should participate in hackathons, or basically community participation is very important in this.
Yeah, exactly. Like you already mentioned, I'm able to recall a very nice article that I read recently. It was certainly based on this thing that you're telling, the importance of networking. Their statement was there, which was much like a quote that said, "Your network is your net worth."
Okay.
Yes. It says that the sooner you realize, the better. I mean, it's the actually network, because the friends,
Yes.
the connections that you make down the line, and if they are good enough, and they are going to be the part of various reputed institutes and companies and so on and so
Yes.
forth. So you have no idea the compound effect it will have over a period of time.
Yes.
So this is quite fascinating. People don't value it, but ultimately, we are living in the time where quality matters more than quantity. In spite of
Yes.
having hundreds of people in your circle, just have 10, but there should be someone. If
Yes.
not today,
No,
then
but again, if you don't meet 100 people, you won't be able to get those 10 people. You should meet as many people.
What I'm trying to do
Yes.
is, okay, I'm preferring the quality over quantity.
Yes. That
So
is what-
the quality should be nice, and if you see, yeah. So that is the thing basically.
For example, this was a very complicated thing for me when I was in first year, because I am not there in any social media. I have never been. So this networking thing I had to actively do, and I didn't enjoy doing this. Like going and posting on Instagram, or like not Instagram. I don't post on Instagram, not even now, but in LinkedIn, I actively tried to post on LinkedIn that this, that, etc. Those things I like. I didn't enjoy doing those things, but I still did those things. Something which I enjoyed was a lot of conferences happened in NISER. So two aspects were very important in this. I got free food and I got free network there.
Yeah,
these two things.
Free food, yeah. So
Yes.
it's one of the favorite thing that if I'm almost every students that are the part of any institute, when the seminars are conducted in any institute, this part is something that almost everyone waits for it. कहना कि free का samosa, free की चाय कब मिलेगी?
Yes.
है ना?
But
So, anyway, that's
you
interesting.
go to go there and you actually meet a lot of people. There was actually a conference in NISER. I forgot from ACM. Yes, there was some winter school happened, and I got to know a lot of professors from ISER, from IISC, and I got so much inspired by them. I learned a lot of new algorithms from there, and that was there definitely. But apart from that, I made connections with a lot of people who are in other universities, from IISC, from IIT, from NIT. All of these places, people came to NISER, and we made friends with them.
Okay. So yeah, good. So Aritra, I mean, based on all the experience and exposure that you have now, I mean, imagine yourself that you are entering the college right now, and some college, let's say tier 2 college. Let's say tier 2 college, okay, not an elite one. Okay, so given that how GPTs and AIs are completely taking over, so there is already a sense of fear among the students, particularly when it comes to यार कौन सी stream लेना चाहिए, ठीक है, मतलब I'm completely lost and मतलब समझ में नहीं आ रहा, ठीक है, पता चला कि मतलब I mean a recent survey it disclosed the fact that कि around 35% or something, or 40% was it, I mean somewhere close to 35 to 40% students, they fear the thing that once they get graduated and job ready, then what if AI is going to take over their domain as well? कि यार मैं तो job ready हुआ तो AI आके. So in the midst of all this, what would have been your approach? है ना? I mean, you are a technical guy. You have so much
Yes.
exposure over codings and LLMs and all. So you
Yes.
must be having a very, not if not very, then I mean, much bigger, than that of what I have the idea about it. कि तुमको पता होगा कि आने वाले 5 से 10 साल, 5-10 नहीं, 3 से 5 साल में LLMs और AIs कहाँ तक जा सकता है ना? तो
No,
उस हिसाब से
not like that. I think not like that, where I cannot predict anything. Like tomorrow, what model is going to come, we can't predict that those
I mean,
things. But what we can do is we can hope for the best, and we can keep on learning just for the sake of learning, and just because I like it, I will be anyway doing it. This programming.
what would have been your approach अगर से तुम अभी कॉलेज में इंटर कर रहे होते एज अ समवन हु इज इनटू ग्रेजुएशन, हु इज जस्ट स्टार्टिंग ग्रेजुएशन?
Okay.
कुछ अलग होता मतलब अप्रोच में, तुम्हारे अप्रोच में व्हाट वुड बी द डिफरेंट वाज दैट
Because the so look, this might also be proven wrong tomorrow, but what I think is if I am very good at something, I would always exceptionally good at something. I don't think machine learning would ever take over my job. It can help me in my job, but I don't think it will take it over because there will always be some part of the job which I will be doing better than the machine learning. And this transition I have to take. I have to always find something which I will do better than the machine learning. For example, when I was in first year, second year, this ChatGPT was not there, so I had to write all this code on my own. But as time passed in my fourth and fifth year, my coding idea became more like I found myself designing the higher level architecture, like the algorithms. What algorithm should be used here? What architecture should be used? What libraries should be used here? What will be faster? Those decisions I found myself involved into more than writing the actual code. So these transitions will always happen, and if you know the theory, like the more you know the theory well, I think it will be tough to replace you using AI, because the AI also needs to get improved, right? So who will make the AI improve? Like, who will improve the AI? We have to improve the AI. Those things are there, but recently Anthropic is claiming that they have made something which self-improving AI, some sort of thing. But I think most of those, at least now, are marketing gimmicks only, in my opinion. But that does not mean that tomorrow something really intriguing won't come. It might.
Yeah. I mean, what you are trying to say is, if I got it correctly, that you should pick a niche and give your 100% in it to develop your strong foundation in it. Then you would be irreplaceable. I mean, the surface level thing is no longer makes sense. And for example, कोई भी एक domain
is good at that,
and just मतलब give your everything to have to develop the expertise across that domain, and so then you will be irreplaceable. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Aritra, so I think thank you for your time. So we have discussed so many things. I think it will be quite not some helpful for the students who are watching this, who are somewhere in the graduation part of their life. So thank you for being the part of this wonderful podcast. I think we will meet some other time to discuss some other topics. And okay, so okay, thank you.
Okay.